Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video, and this is a video response to a challenge for Mercy Tierra, Tracy. Hi Tracy. And her challenge, her 27-day challenge this month is to use something that you kind of hoard in your stash. And I love lace and I don't have a ton of it, so I kind of hoard it and I use it mostly on mini albums and things like that. And I just realized that I should use it on my layouts a little more, because it does lend that feminine touch, and I'm doing a lot of baby layouts lately, and it's not that thick and dimensional, so it's going to go into a page protector just fine. So it's like, why am I hoarding this? I should be using this and enjoying it on my pages and stuff. So I've just cut a bunch of different strips of whites, off-whites, and pinks, and I'm kind of just fraying the end a little bit. I didn't want it to be too clean cut on the end. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to sew them on my sewing machine and run a stitch through them and just do different lengths across there, not all the way across, but just varying lengths. And so I'm just kind of figuring out which ones I want to use and cutting some pieces of it. And I'll put like 2 places with this lace just to kind of spread it around the page. And I've never done anything like this before, so it was really just kind of an experiment. So I do put a little bit of ribbon on there too. I have a ton of ribbon. I used to use it way more in my scrapbooking than I do now. And I should try to use it more often. So I took it over to my sewing machine and just ran some stitches through it, and I left the tails on the front and I let some of the stitching go off the lace so that you could really see the stitching on the paper. And so I'm just kind of trimming up the ends. And yes, I am wearing my bathrobe. It was kind of late at night and everything, so I've got a big pink fuzzy bathrobe and you can kind of see the sleeves. Sorry about that. So anyhow, I'm just trimming the back, and since I didn't really back stitch on this, I figured I'd better tape down the ends and just to keep it from unraveling. So I'm just using a little bit of washi tape to kind of hold that down. And it went really easily. I did, of course, run out of my bobbin thread at one point, but luckily I had a pink bobbin, so I didn't have to like rewind it or anything. So there is what my background looks like. And I did sew this onto watercolor paper because I had thought, I wanted to put a little bit of watercolor on there to mess it up. And I thought about doing it before I put the lace on there, but then I decided against that. I thought, you know what, I'm going to watercolor on this, and if it soaks into the lace a little bit, I think that would look cool. It doesn't wind up soaking in that much, but it did work fine to put the watercolor on after I had already sewn the lace on there. So I just gutted this piece of paper. I'm going to save it to mat my layout on, and then I'm going to use the rest of it to mat my photo. And this is another grandbaby. This is Emma, another grandbaby layout, just trying to catch up on some of those here. I swear I won't do baby layouts forever, but I am trying to catch up right now. So there is my photo, and I'm just going to let it overlap the lace. I was just trying to decide which way I wanted it to go. And so that is going to be where the photo is going to be positioned. So now I'm just grabbing my watercolors, and I had them out from my last layout, so it was really convenient. They were already out on my desk and my water brush was out. And so I'm just taking a little bit of the pinks, and that last pink was just a little bit too bright for me. I wanted to keep it, soft. So I'm just kind of just messing up the background a little bit, and layering in some color that will kind of come out from underneath the photograph. And no rhyme or reason to it really, just putting some spots of color down. And I'm sorry that's off screen. I wanted the color palette to be on screen, but I went a little bit too far one direction there. So you'll see it here in a second once I clean this up. I did put a little bit of color over on the right, and it's really subtle, but you can see it more, you know, in person, but it does lend, it just takes away a little bit of the crispness of everything. Just makes it a little messier feeling, and I just kind of like that. So I have some thin foam tape here, so I'm just doubling up the layers of it to make it a little thicker here where the photo's not going to be on top of the lace. And then I'm going to use some wet glue on the bottom to hold on to that lace. So just a little bit of quick dry adhesive. And I'm going to pop that down. And I just set something heavy on it to help it hold while it's drying. And then I saw these envelopes I had stuck over to the side, and I thought, you know what, maybe I want to tuck one of those in there. And I tuck it down here so that the flap kind of goes over a portion of the photograph where it's not going to hide anything important. And it doesn't close very well, so I will put a clip on it here, but I did want to be able to tuck a little message in there to Emma, you know, that she'll see sometime in the future if she ever looks inside of that. So I thought that would be cool to just, you know, put a little message in there for her. Message from Grandma. And then I also have these Maggie Holmes little crepe paper circles that I got at Tuesday Morning, and I think they're a somewhat recent collection, so I'm surprised they had them at Tuesday Morning, but they're really cute. And so I go ahead and put the two pink ones on there, and where it overlaps the lace I just added a little wet glue. I looked at these Heidi Swapp puffy stickers, but the speech bubble just wasn't working for me. And I'm still thinking about what I'm going to get to hold that down. And I have these clips on my desk. And at first I think, you know, I'm going to use this butterfly, so I put it on there, but the clip just looked a little bit too big. You know, and the butterfly, it was just a little bit too large, and it was silver. And I already had some gold accents on those crepe paper embellishments. So I had this smaller gold clip with the little love banner on it that was left over from a past Scraptastic Kit Club kit. And so I went ahead and put that on there. So that kind of holds the flap down. And then I have these Craft Market little word stickers, and they are also in gold. So I'm carrying on that gold look. And so I decide to put these over in the layers of the lace. So I'm just going to layer a couple of those over there. So they're kind of subtle, but they just add another level of detail. And then I also have these, I think these are Recollections, little puffy heart stickers that I had gotten, I think last year after Valentine's Day or something, and I hadn't even used them, so I went ahead and pulled those out, and I just kind of put a few of those in amongst the layers of lace as well. And then I looked at these Maggie Holmes Flare that I got at Tuesday Morning, and none of those really spoke to me. So I'm really liking how it looks right now. So while I think about if there's anything more I want to add, I go ahead and try to mount my layout, except I had run out of adhesive there. So I'm just mounting it on the rest of this pink paper. And yeah, I really like that. And so I figured, you know what, the only thing else it really needs are some sprinkles. So I wanted to bring in that same pink watercolor that I had used in the background. So I just get a bunch of water on my palette and then just kind of pick it up and flick some little sprinkles on there. So that kind of helps everything match in, because I've got a lot of pink going on and they're all a little bit subtly different shades, but they don't clash with each other. So it worked out really good. And then I also pulled some of this gold Heidi Swapp to go with some of my gold tones that I have on there. And then that is it. That is my completed layout. And I didn't put a ton of embellishments on there, but it didn't really need it with all that lace sewn on there. And so I just kind of wanted to let that lace shine through. And so that is a close-up. You can see all the little words in amongst there and the envelope and everything. And so there is my layout, and thank you, Tracy, so much for the challenge. I really enjoyed using some of this lace from my hoard and hoarding it on my layout where I can enjoy it for years to come. So if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below, and thanks for watching. Bye.